2 weeks on from the first sowing. So we did our tomatoes and peppers. The tomatoes have germinated, but the pepper would take a long time anyway. It will take about 20 days sometimes. And they are still in my house. I haven't sorted the greenhouse yet. We're just working very hard to sort it out. It's very windy on the site, and it's been quite a challenge, but hopefully it will be done this week. And this is now 25th of March, and yesterday I did a lot of sowing, additional sowing. So the first ones, tomato and pepper, are the early ones. Sometimes if you're growing at home, it's better not to sow them. Even you can buy seedlings from garden centers, but it's hard to find the rest of these ones to find in a garden center, so it's better to start from seeds. And March is a good time to start, but still March is seen as early. You have time to sow even in April and some of them in May. So I'm gonna just show you what I have sown the past few days. So I sow most of my brassicas. So I have sown my kale, 4 different varieties of kale, and also some sprouting broccoli, some normal broccoli, but I love sprouting broccoli for home use because you can harvest it again and again, and they are very tender, very tasty broccoli types. And there are green ones that you can plant. There's a purple one that is early when you overwinter and harvest in the spring, but there are other ones, green ones, that you can plant in springtime and harvest from summer on. So I'm showing that, and I'm also trying some different cabbage varieties and cauliflower. So you can sow now your kale varieties or your brassicas now if it's inside. If it's outside, it's still on a seed bed. You can still plant it in April. So there's no super rush at the moment, but it's good to start sowing in springtime. And other ones I sown is most of my herbs. So for herbs, I planted fennel, dill, and my basil, parsley, coriander. So all of them are sown, and I'll see how they do. I'll show you some pictures of them being sown. So most of them are sown in clumps of 4. Only the fennel is singly sown. Okay, all of them are in multiple seedlings. We'll see how that goes. Other things is that radishes. So radish, normally you can sow it directly outside. It bears the cold as well, but sometimes I love to start it from seed if I have the space, and they germinate in a few days time, and you can plant them out right away. And they will be slug damage, but when you plant out seedlings, you are guaranteed you're choosing the good, the strong, the viable ones. So you are guaranteed a good production. So that's why I sometimes start it at home. If it is interplanting, for example, between your kale plants or something, you can directly sow it, and you can get harvest out of it. So I'm trying the Japanese minoes or mole, so the long ones. I saw them last year and make kimchi with them, and they were just amazing. So I'm gonna do them early, and I'm gonna sow them later on in the season as well, to replace others. So I've sown my beetroots, 3 different type of beetroots: a golden beetroot, the chichogia, that is the candy beetroot, and another one is the normal beetroot. I also done my leeks and spring onions. So I'm not convinced so much about planting onions in a garden. I rather buy them, but in a small garden, it's nice to have spring onions for salad and leeks for later on in the season. So the spring onions are sown 10 in a little clump, so they can be harvested. The big one can be twisted out early in the season, but later on they can be harvested as a bunch, and you can use them right away. And the leek is sown in a clump of 4, and after we plant it, we're not going to use the usual deep leek planting. We're going to just plant them as they are. And I have found a lot of success with that the past 3 years, so I'm going to carry on doing that, and we'll compare with others how it goes. And it's sown in fours, 3 or 4 seeds. When I plant it out as well, I'll make sure there are 3 or 4 seedlings. If it's more than that, I'll pull them out and plant them somewhere else. So that is so I'll twist the bigger one out as I go along. And the other ones are spinach. So I've sown my spinach as well. Spinach and beetroot are relatively closer families, and so I sown my spinach now. And you can also sow them later on in the season. So this is an early and later type of crop you would plant. In the midsummer, you have a lot of leaves flying around, so you wouldn't, and they are quite easy bolting, so you wouldn't want them in the mid-season, but you do them for early season. Another one is chard. I really love chard. Chard is the same family as beetroot. The seeds look the same, and also they you can use beetroot leaves as chard as well when you harvest if you have clean leaves. And I have sown my Swiss chard, that's a white stem, and firework, so that's 5 color. And other ones I have sown yes, so I'm going. Yes, I have sown some of the Asian greens. That's Mizuna, Mibuna. That's for early crop as well. If they go bigger, and I can use them in stir fry. Otherwise, you can use them in salad as well. They're very nice. They are spicy, and they will go with the early lettuces we have. They quite resist the cold, and they go to flower very quickly. So you use them for early season. So I have sown them as well. And another one is kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is becoming very famous these days. It's like cabbage, an early coming cabbage, and it doesn't take that much space. You can harvest it. It tastes like cabbage, and it feels like apple as well. And so I really like kohlrabi, planting out kohlrabi, and my customers have been loving it as well, and it's becoming famous, and many market gardeners as well. So these are the seeds I sow. These are the things. Oh, one thing I forgot is it is the broad beans and peas. So I have my first early May pea type variety, and I have also sown my sugar snap pea. They are going to come, but the other ones I can sow directly outside. Broad beans usually you can sow them outside again. From my experience, I sow them outside in March, end of March, and they took a long time because the soil is very cold, so they took a long time to germinate. They are quite cold resistant. You can overwinter them as well, but to start as seeds, the seeds need some kind of temperature, and soil temperature was not warm enough for them to start the germination process, so they took a very long time to germinate. So then the years after that, I started to take just in trays, germinate them in trays and plant them out. It's also allow you to choose the good seedlings. It means you'll have that a good produce. So that's all about sowing. I hope you enjoy your sowing, and don't rush it now. There's no need to panic at the moment, and there is still a long period of sowing, but it's good to get ready if you haven't started yet. Thank you.